All right, let's dive in. We're taking a look at La La Land today, but not just watching it, we're dissecting it. Figuring out what makes it tick.
Yeah, peeling back the layers.
Exactly. And our guide for this deep dive is an awesome video essay by Archer Green. It's all about how Damien Chazelle, the director, uses color to tell a richer story.
Oh yeah, that essay's fantastic.
It's really opened my eyes. Like, I thought I knew La La Land, but there's so much more going on beneath the surface.
It's wild how much you miss on a first watch.
Totally. So before we get into specifics, can you give us a quick overview? What's the main argument of the essay?
Well, the main idea is that Chazelle uses specific colors to represent certain themes and even like character arcs. Like red might symbolize this while blue means something else.
That makes a lot of sense, especially since La La Land is heavily inspired by those old Hollywood musicals, which were all about vibrant colors.
Yeah. The film is absolutely drenched in color, especially in that opening number and on those old-fashioned movie sets.
Yeah. Right. But Chazelle takes it a step further by assigning these symbolic meanings to those colors.
It's not just about looking pretty, it's intentional. It adds depth.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, let's break it down color by color. Let's start with red. It's pretty dominant in the film. What does it represent?
Red is ambition, chasing your dreams, and all of the risks that come with that.
Like when Mia walks through that bright red door to see Seb play.
Exactly. She's stepping into a whole new world of possibilities, full of unknowns.
And even when it's positive, like passion, it still has this edge of danger to it.
Right. You can kind of see how much Mia and Seb are committing to their dreams by how much red surrounds them. Early on, it's bold, almost reckless. Later, as they face more setbacks, it becomes more subdued.
That's interesting. So red's the fiery pursuit of dreams, and then we have blue. And that seems to represent a different kind of reality, right?
Yeah, like stability, but also potentially being trapped or unfulfilled. When characters have to compromise or confront limitations, blue is often there.
Like Seb in that blue suit, playing those Christmas gigs he hates.
Yeah, or Mia boxed in by that blue wall while serving that movie star.
It's the contrast between their dreams and the reality they're stuck in.
But blue can also be about Seb's dedication to jazz, even when it's not glamorous. Like the blues in his apartment, surrounded by his records, it's his sanctuary, where he can be himself.
So blue isn't necessarily bad. It's more about that tension between the life you want and the life you're living.
Exactly. And then, of course, there's purple, which I think the essay argues is all about Mia and Seb's relationship.
Yes. It pops up whenever they're together, especially in those romantic, dreamy scenes.
Right, but it's not always straightforward. Like their first big argument, after Seb misses Mia's play, they're bathed in this intense purple light.
That's so true. I would have expected red, with all the anger and frustration. But the purple highlights the love that's still there underneath.
Yeah, it adds layers to their relationship. Purple can be joy and intimacy, but also conflict and uncertainty. Never one simple meaning.
It's making me want to rewatch the whole film, just focusing on the purple.
It's amazing what you start noticing. So we've got red, blue, purple. But the video essay also mentioned a couple of other colors, right?
Yeah. What about green? It felt less prominent, but still important.
Green is subtle, but it marks turning points in their relationship, both good and bad.
Like when Mia leaves her boyfriend for Seb, she's wearing green, but then green is also there during their first big fight.
Exactly. It's a sign that things are shifting, for better or worse. Makes you wonder if those early green moments foreshadowed the trouble ahead.
So green is like a relationship indicator. And then there was yellow. What was that all about?
Yellow. It pops up before big changes for the characters, like a visual cue that something's about to shift.
Hold on. Mia is also wearing yellow when she goes to that successful audition, and again when Seb buys his jazz club.
You got it. Yellow is like a pay attention, things are about to get interesting signal.
It's incredible. We've only talked about 4 colors, and I'm already seeing so much depth.
It really shows how much thought went into La La Land, visually and thematically.
This whole color symbolism thing is blowing my mind. Is it always this intentional in films?
Maybe not always this intricate, but filmmakers definitely use color to create mood, convey emotions, and even guide the audience's eye.
La La Land is a masterclass in how to do it subtly but effectively.
Absolutely. It's working on so many levels.
I'm completely hooked. Now I'm dying to hear more about how Mia's style evolves and what that says about her journey.
Oh yeah, her wardrobe tells a fascinating story.
Let's get into it. Okay, so we've covered how red, blue, purple, set the stage for the main themes of La La Land, the conflicts, the relationships.
It's like the foundation of the whole color palette.
Totally. But I'm really curious about Mia's wardrobe. Like, how does it reflect her journey? because it definitely changes.
It's really remarkable. You can almost trace her growth through her clothes.
Yeah.
At the beginning, she's wearing all these bright, vibrant colors, like she's trying to stand out, be noticed.
Oh, absolutely. That yellow dress before she meets Seb. Iconic.
Right, and those colorful, flowy dresses for her auditions. Total Hollywood hopeful vibes.
Right. 100%. But then as she starts facing rejection and she starts doubting herself, her clothes get more muted, less saturated.
Yeah, the colors are still there, but they're not as in your face. It's subtle, but it mirrors her fading optimism.
It's like the film is visually showing us her inner struggles.
And then there's her one-woman show, which is completely in black and white.
Oh my gosh, yeah. It's such a stark contrast to everything else.
Like all the color, all that Hollywood fantasy is stripped away. It's just her, raw and vulnerable.
Powerful imagery for sure. So her clothes get more subdued, but I notice there are still bursts of color around her sometimes.
Like that yellow backdrop during her big audition.
Yes. It's like even when she's doubting herself, the possibility of success is still there.
Exactly. Remember how yellow often signals a change, a turning point?
Oh, right. It's like the film is hinting that things are about to turn around for her.
A little visual promise that even though it's tough, her dreams are still within reach.
It's amazing this whole color thing has me rethinking how I watch movies.
It's crazy how much color shapes how we experience a film, even subconsciously.
Okay, so we talked about Mia and her clothes. But what about Seb? His style seems more consistent, always that classic jazz look.
Yeah, but his clothes tell a story too. Remember how we talked about the contrast between the vibrant acting world and the more subdued jazz world?
Yeah, with the acting world being all colorful and the jazz world more muted.
Exactly. And Seb's clothes reflect that. Earthy tones, browns, grays, especially when he's playing traditional jazz.
It's like his clothes represent his dedication to pure jazz, even if it means struggling.
But then, when he joins John Legend's band, things change.
He starts wearing those sleek all-black suits, right? Way more modern.
He's literally shedding those old jazz world colors and going for a more commercial look.
And black is often associated with ambition, sophistication.
It's a visual representation of his transformation. He's compromising his ideals for success.
It makes you wonder if he's truly happy or if he's sacrificing something important.
That's the beauty of La La Land. It doesn't give easy answers. It makes you think about the price of success, the choices we make.
Speaking of choices, we got to talk about that final scene. The colors are just screaming symbolism.
Oh yeah, that scene is a masterpiece of visual storytelling.
Let's break it down. How do red and blue work together to show Mia and Seb's destinies? That final scene, oh man, I'm getting emotional just thinking about it.
It's a real gut punch.
And the colors, they just add another layer to all those emotions.
It's powerful stuff.
Yeah.
So we've talked about red for dreams and blue for reality. In that final scene, both Mia and Seb, they've achieved their dreams, right?
Yeah, she's a successful actress. He's got his jazz club.
Their dreams have literally become their reality. And you see that through the red and blue light all throughout the scene.
Yeah, it's subtle, but when you notice it, it's like, whoa.
Like a visual representation of their journey coming full circle. But then, when Mia's about to leave, she steps into that pool of purple light, turns back, gives Seb that look.
Chills every time. Why is that purple so powerful? What is it about that specific moment?
Well, purple, throughout the film, it's their relationship, their shared history, the good and the bad.
Right.
That final glance, bathed in purple, it acknowledges everything they've been through together, the impact they had on each other, even though they ended up on different paths.
It's so bittersweet. They both got what they wanted, but not together.
And purple, it can be happy and sad at the same time, joyful and melancholic. It just perfectly captures the complexity of that moment.
I've been thinking, as we've been talking about all this color symbolism, are we reading too much into things? But then I see that last scene, and I know it's not a coincidence.
It's too deliberate, too well-crafted. Chazelle knew exactly what he was doing.
It's like he gave us this secret language to understand the film on a deeper level.
And the more you understand it, the more you appreciate the brilliance of the storytelling.
La La Land is more than a love story. It's about dreams, ambition, the choices we make.
And the colors help us understand all of that. It adds depth, richness, layers of meaning.
So for everyone listening, what's the key takeaway? What do you hope they walk away with?
Watch La La Land again, but pay attention to the colors this time. Look beyond the surface and see how they shape the characters, the story, the emotions.
Love that. And for our listeners, here's something to think about. What if La La Land was filmed in black and white, like those old films it's inspired by? Would it have the same impact? Would we feel the same way? Something to ponder. Until next time, folks, keep those eyes peeled for the hidden language of color in your favorite films. You never know what you might discover.